That's what I'm thinking about. That's exactly what I'm thinking about.
Do we want to go into that today or Tuesday?
Whatever.
It's up to you.
Whatever you want.
527.
I can't prepare it, but it's totally up to you.
Okay, I think we will. All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order. And the first order of business is going to be to go into non-public session under 91A Bravo, hiring of any person as a public employee. Charlie, matters which if discussed in public would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than us. And Echo. No, not that, not Echo. Which is the one about contracts?
It might be A.
Pardon?
It may be A, but check it.
No, that's compensation.
Compensation.
Oh, come on. Okay, it's gonna be the one about contracts, whatever character that is, we'll find it later. Okay, so I'll make a motion that we go into non-public session for Alpha Bravo and whatever one is for contracts.
I'll second.
All right, motion made and seconded. Any, let's do a roll call. Austin?
Yes. Zachary, yes.
Gothier, yes. Okay.
529.
529. Will you come with us, Mike? We'll step into the office over here.
What got you here?
Up the road.
Yes.
Well, we're gonna make the motion then. We're gonna make a motion that we're coming out of non-public session. So I'll make that motion. I'll get a second.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Fifield, yes.
Zachary?
Yes.
Gothier, yes. And now we have to vote on sealing those minutes. So I would make a motion that we seal them for 2 years.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call again.
Fifield, yes.
Zachary, yes.
Gothier, yes.
631.
All right. Okay, I think we're here to talk about tumble down deck, right?
Yep.
Okay, I've read through the report again, and there were two things that struck me on that. One was tumble down itself, and then it talked quite a bit about Moose Mountain also.
Yes.
The bridge. And I was pleasantly surprised that the way the discussion on the bridge was framed. It doesn't seem as bad as what I had thought it might be.
Right.
I think there's a way around that.
I think the bridge is sort of the bright spot in this report. Only because, I mean, they do say in the report that they think that maybe it should be replaced. It might be a reasonable option, but I really don't. I would disagree with that. Not necessarily from a financial situation, but from the logistics of it, because nobody wants their property disturbed. So keeping property disturbance to a minimum and fixing what's there, there's really nothing wrong with the bridge other than its design flaws. It has no wing walls, which are basically a funnel for the water coming in and going out. And it also creates a retaining wall for dirt that's on the side of the road. So I would throw out the idea of replacing it for those reasons, but I, like you, I was pleasantly surprised by their estimates, which, you know, take them for what they're worth, but they at least put a number towards it. I wasn't super happy with the culvert replacement on Tumbledown, but because of what it is and where it is, we're kind of stuck.
I had a little bit of trouble understanding the, what is the term, bank fill distance?
Mhm.
Is that the term they use?
Yeah, may not be exactly that, but basically the high water point, when it's at its highest level of flow, they can measure that and tell you how much water, or the width of the water going through there. So I think, you know, that's obviously dependent on the storm that we have, and the snow melt is another factor there, but it does drain an enormous area, and on top of that, the water that flows through there on a regular basis is all spring water. So any rain or snow melt is what contributes to the problem that we have there.
In your estimation, what is the priority?
The bridge has been in this situation for decades. The Tumbledown Dick Road is only a problem because we have people out there now. It never used to be a problem because the people that lived out there either didn't care or weren't there when it happened. And now there's people there all the time, so it's a little more important.
And that is class 5 in this area.
It's class 5, and it does, you know, in the right circumstance, it could trap some people out there. I mean, not for an extended period, but, you know, maybe a day or two, possibly, if something happens there. And the culverts that are there are no good. They're old, they're rotted, they're plugged with rocks from years of the water, you know, causing problems there. So it does need to be replaced. And unfortunately, the only way to replace it legally now is to basically follow their guidelines. And that's, the guidelines there that they're using are, they're a step down from what the state technically would normally require.
Yeah,
Because of the
I
circumstance.
got that in there. It was like 50% or something like that instead of going with 1.2.
Yeah, and the difference there is you're going, if you follow the guidelines the way that the state has them written, you'd be putting in a 24 or 30 foot long bridge, which doesn't really drive with the area. So the DES guy from the state that came out, he said that we could, you know, make a concession here and put in a box culvert, which again, it's a very large box culvert, but it's something that's a little less maintenance, and it falls into the criteria that they're looking for. But that said, it's a fairly good-sized project, both in terms of engineering, permitting, and the actual work itself isn't really the big spend here. It's the engineering and permitting, I think, is where you're going to see a lot of money spent.
So really what we have right now is simply the study. We don't even have the permitting or the engineering.
Nope. So that's, I guess, the point we're at. The beta group that did the initial work through the Stratford Regional Planning Commission, I did ask them if they're interested in it. They are. And they've done the report, they've done the basics of the permitting and the engineering that needs to be done. So they could take off from there. The other option is to put out an RFQ for other engineering firms to take on the work, which could be done. And they could use what's already been done here. So if that's
We own it.
yeah, this is you know, that's the work that had to get done preliminarily for the permitting and engineering. So that part's done. That was at no cost to the town other than, what we pay in the dues. And so whether would want to go with Beta or at least get a proposal from them, something more than what they've sent here with the estimates that they sent, or if you want to do an RFQ for other engineering firms and just see what they have to say in terms of rates and stuff like that. We don't even have what Beta would charge for rates either. We just got a basic estimate, on what the project could cost. So, to move forward, we either have to engage Beta or engage another engineering firm or several to get some competitive quotes.
And do you think that Beta report that we do have is sufficient to put out as part of the RFQ?
I don't think it even has to be part of the RFQ. I think the RFQ would be strictly whether the engineering firm is interested, if that's in their list of things that they handle, what their rates are for the permitting, their hourly rates, that kind of stuff, what their design rates are, so you can compare the different places.
I see what you're saying.
And then, once you pick an engineering firm, then this preliminary study comes into play.
We would have to, would we have to give them an idea of what it is that we're asking them to give us prices on?
I don't think so. I think the idea behind the RFQ, and I brought up the idea several months ago in terms of having an engineering firm more or less on call for other town issues too. Like say somebody comes into the planning board with a development or something, a piece of property they want to develop, and you may want to have an engineering look at the road, where the roads are, the drainage, that kind of stuff. That's another thing that an engineering firm you may want to include in an RFQ. Just an engineering group that can work with the town. Like you can call them up and say, hey, we got this project, or we need some help on this plan that's come into the planning board.
And to find that engineering firm, we would have to put out an RFQ for what are your rates?
Yep. And so that's, I would say where we're at right at the moment is to decide if we want to stick with this one or look around a little and see what's out there.
All right, any thoughts on that? Rich? You thinking we should go get some more numbers, or let's see what they come back with first?
I'm happy with those numbers. I think the town would be happy with those numbers, because we've been talking big numbers in the past.
Yeah.
I would strike while iron's hot on as much of this as we could. I mean, we were talking millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
We're not in that league now, so I would jump on it. That's what I would do. It's a reputable company,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
so, and we get the quotes back. Are we civil engineers to analyze it? We get to hire an engineer to look at the quotes.
This is true. Well, you're a good engineer.
Not civil. Civil, I'm not going there. So that's what I would do. I would move forward as much as we could while they're willing to do it.
Mhm.
So the next step then would be to ask them to provide us with a quote of some kind, or design and
I
permit quote.
would ask the engineer to come into a meeting, and I would ask that, or we should decide how much of this we want to do, and ask them to give an estimate or quote on providing design and permitting in a bid package so that this project could be put out to bid in order to get the work done quickly, and not a huge proponent of bid process, but has to be done, I think, in this case. And that would be part of the engineering is a bid packet for, all the specifications for the project.
Well, we got a couple issues, right? We can't overspend our budget this year without special dispensation from DRA. We have money in a trust fund dedicated for Moose Mountain Bridge, very clear. So I bet we could argue with DRA that we want to take the money that the town has authorized for that bridge and use it on that bridge, and it may cause us to go over our budget. See what they say. I think it's a pretty straightforward argument. Tumble down Dick, we have no town authorization or money to work on that. So that I would hold until,
There is a trust fund for roads and bridges.
yes, there is.
We couldn't use that on
We might be able to argue that, but that's not as clean as Moose Mountain Bridge Trust Fund, which is right there. So one is clean, one we're going to have to argue. So
Yeah, I can see that, and that would probably help everybody if we put that in the form of a warrant going into next March, specifically for Comeau.
Tumble it. Yes, that would be my take on that. We're going to have some good numbers. Here's what we want to spend for town money. We have a significant amount of money in trust funds, but we didn't tell the town we wanted to spend it, and we can't go over our budget without DRA approval. But I think there's enough money in the budget right now that we can start Moose Mountain. And the last number we got from Joanne said we had about 100,000 that we didn't commit yet. And while we're working on that, we go to DRA and see what they say.
Both of these projects are probably over a year away anyway, I mean, just in terms of getting all the work done. So as long as we get something started, that's the key.
And to Rich's point, I think we have the money to get that started. And then by the time March comes around, well, actually, because we've got to have something over by December, January at the very latest, if we're going to do a warrant for,
December, got to be in the budget.
Point of clarification,
yes.
do we know how much we're talking about, and did you mention an engineer's name or a contractor's name?
Beta is the engineering group.
Beta.
Do
And what
you
was the
recall
amount?
what the number was?
I can look it up real quick here.
And this is for a box culvert.
There's two projects.
Tumble Down Dick is a box culvert, Moose Mountain Bridge is the bridge.
To repair.
Repair. And Beta would be doing both?
For the engineering and design and permitting, as we're talking about, and then a bid package.
So if we go with Beta, would they represent the town when we look at bids? Do you know the answer to that? We get a bunch of bids in.
Yeah, I suppose they could, or we could make that decision. That's really your decision, you look at but if you wanted them to go over and make sure that there was nothing, I'm sure we can include that in the process. Either way, I think is, the purpose of the bid packet is so that everybody's bidding on the same thing, so there shouldn't be any discrepancies in the bid. I'm not saying there wouldn't be, but that's the purpose, is they're basically filling in a pre-prepared packet, so you should be able to compare each line item by company and not have discrepancies. But
And they're going to come back and say, I don't understand this line item, what does it mean? And we can't answer that.
yeah, no, I think that can definitely be considered part of the process. Just looking here at the.
So the 175 for Moose Mountain Bridge was their estimate for engineering work of the entire job.
It says for the Moose Mountain Road Bridge rehabilitation, I would assume $175,000.
The job. That's the way I read it.
This assumes the work will consist of constructing new wing walls on the downstream side and a concrete slab or riprap along the stream bed. The approximate fee includes survey, geotechnical investigations, plan development, hydraulic analysis, And that may be part of the permit application, so. Assistance in bidding the project.
There you go. That answers that part of the question you just asked.
But it was for the job.
And it was $200,000 for the culvert.
Yes. And that must include the grading.
That includes, that includes the construction of it also. You know, the gravel, you're talking about bringing the road up
Yep.
about 4 feet there,
Yep,
so.
a lot of fill.
Yep. I think the number on the bridge is probably a little low because they're talking about wing walls on the exit side of the bridge, and it really needs them on both sides. It needs, on the upstream side, there's already a problem with the road because the dirt slopes down too steeply, there's no retaining wall, there's no nothing there. So even if it's not for the water itself, it needs some wing walls on the bridge so that the dirt can be held back and the road can be supported. So I think that number is going to be higher than 175, but I think it's not.
It's not 600,000.
No.
So, it sounds like the next step would be to bring Beta in. We'll have a session with them with the objective of finding out what it would cost to us to contract with them for a preliminary design or final design
I think
and a bid package.
I think you're looking at a complete design, permitting, and bid package. I think that's what you're looking for from them.
Yeah, because we need to look at that number, and then we ask the question, is there enough in the existing fund to handle it? Sounds like there should be.
Well, we got 150.
Yeah, right, and the whole package is 175.
Yes, so we're close.
So we're, yeah,
We're close.
but we're looking at only a portion of that up front. The 175 included the contract.
That's
and
right.
the work.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So what you're probably looking at is a certain amount of money to get the process started, and then, you know, somewhere down the road, some more, and then a third amount for the construction itself. So, in my opinion, there's plenty of time to sort that out, but it sounds like there's money available to at least get the process started.
Right,
And so just to clarify, the idea here would be to go after the bridge first, and we'll manage the culvert as we have been, with the idea that we're working towards replacing it.
And with those numbers, I'd ask the town next March. We need money, we want to do it, what do you say?
Well, to that then, I would say we should probably engage the engineering firm to do the work on both at the same time. Do their part of it so that we can have the bid package to put out and say this money's going to be available in 2026 or whatever.
And when we go for a warrant, we're gonna have a good idea what that number is. It's not
Yeah.
gonna be some fuzzy number, throw 100,000 at it. We're gonna have a decent number to work with.
Yeah. So that's, but back to your original point about being able to use that money, if it can't come out of the Moose Mountain Bridge Fund, it has to come from somewhere for the culvert.
And the last time we had a report, we had $100,000 uncommitted for this year.
All right, so I'll make a motion for Chris to contact Beta to set up a meeting with the board to talk about what the cost would be for design, permitting, and there was a third, design.
Bid. The bid.
And a bid package.
Yep.
Correct. For both projects. But I'd like to see that come in as a option A and an option B. Option A being Moose Mountain only. Option B would be both.
Okay.
And then let us know what they can do, and we'll work a schedule around so we can sit down and talk.
You want to do it in a normal, your first and third Tuesday meeting, or would you
I
want to do a
got a
special
feeling it's going to
meeting?
be too involved. I think it should be a public meeting, obviously,
Mhm.
but in addition to.
Okay.
Oh, so that's a motion.
I'll second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any other discussion?
Am I allowed to ask any questions? May I?
Yes.
So I just want to clarify something. You're going to an engineer to get a design, and you're going to an engineer to create a bid package. Who's going to oversight the job? Like, who is the engineer that's going to oversight everything that's being done?
That could be part of the entire package where they have an engineer on site. Usually that's what happens, is the engineer that is in charge of the project will have time in the process to oversee and inspect the work that's being done.
Shouldn't that be a separate entity doing that, or am I overthinking this? I would think you would have somebody who's not fiduciarily connected to the project to inspect and govern the project.
They're not financially connected to the contractor that would be doing the physical work.
We would be hiring those people in the bid package.
Yes, yes. They would be working as agents for us to
So-
oversee that contract.
So who oversees those contractors? Our road agent?
In this case, it would most likely be the engineer that produced the design.
So what I expect, and I've seen this happen in other venues, the design engineer will have a follow-on clause or whatever kind of terminology they want to use, where during the construction of the project, they will have X number of hours assigned for this guy to inspect certain hole points, verify that the work is being done per design, and they would act as our agent in doing those inspections and oversight.
I think you, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you're kind of mixing two things. You're mixing the financial responsibility with the construction responsibility. So the engineer would be in charge of making sure that the concrete was the proper PSI or had the right slump or had the right compaction in the soils. There could be a clerk of the works, one of the selectmen, or whoever they appoint to make sure that the money is being spent properly. There could be two different things there. I'm not sure if that's what you're getting at or not.
No, it's just the same thing as when you get an estimate to do something on your house. You shouldn't hire the contractor that's going to do the work to give you the estimate. You should be using a separate estimator. That's what I would do. I mean, I would find,
Every time I go bid a job for myself, I put my own estimate together.
yeah, I know, we're talking municipal stuff. If I would hire my own contractor to be the estimator. But going back to this, I would just say, is it expensive to hire like HEB to go and, I don't know, I just don't like, it just seems like this, just,
Again, the engineering firm is overseeing a contractor separately, so it's not the same. You know, there is some oversight here between the engineering firm and whoever is ultimately wins the bid to do the work. So in terms of the quality, that shouldn't be an issue, and honestly, the price is set in the bid, so.
the other, and I just go back to the audit, because part of the audit did say that, you know, we lack bids when we do this, and of course we try to explain to the auditor, up here, it's not that easy to get contractors to do anything. There's not much of a pool, so, you know, you have under law your authorization to waive bids. I would encourage you to make sure you put that in a motion that you're waiving this bid, that you're not, assuming you're not going out to bid. For the engineer.
That's what we're asking. We're not saying we're not going to, we're asking this guy to provide us with one. If we don't like it, if we don't like what we get back from this guy, time out,
Well, I'm saying we're not going out to bid for the engineering.
we may even do that, right? If he comes back with something that we don't like, for whatever reason, we would say, we're not gonna contract with you, we're gonna
Okay.
go out and get some bids somewhere. But at some point in time, we would.
We're not going out for bids for the engineering work. That's right.
Yeah, at some point in time, we'll have to invoke just what I can't remember exactly how you said it, but.
The bid waiving, you have the authority to waive bids for a
Right.
specific reason.
But we will do that at some point in time. I think it's premature at this point. All right, so any other discussion? Okay, motion made.
You have another question?
Well, not on this topic, but I'll let you finish.
Okay, motion's made and it was seconded, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? So be it, motion carries. So let us know what you can come up with.
I'll contact them on Monday and find out what his schedule is and check with you guys and we'll come up with a time to get together. Assume you want to do it here, is there any reason to do it on site to look at anything for yourselves or?
I'm familiar with that, well, you must be familiar with
Yeah,
that
I'm
too.
very familiar with it, yeah.
And you're familiar with both of them as well?
I've been down there.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we're good. We can-
I'll do that.
And obviously they're familiar with it too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Did you
Thank
vote?
Yeah, they voted.
They did.
Yeah, it was unanimous. All right, what else have we got?
Just a question, two questions. One is,
What's your
my
name? What's your name?
name's Tim Straz, I live at 128 Moose Mountain Road. But is I don't know, Chris, is Moose Mountain road still planned to be paved this year? Is that
Yes.
scheduled for that?
The section between Austin's house and the bridge is supposed to be reclaimed and paved. The equipment is sitting at the ski area. It's been there for weeks.
Yes. Okay.
They told me the first week of August, but because we had such a slow start, we had so much rain in the beginning, it's a paving company
Yeah.
and they're severely behind.
Yeah, gotcha.
So yes, they're still supposed to do it. I'm still planning on them doing it and I'm hoping next week I'm replacing that culvert that everyone loves so much.
Yeah, speed bump. And thank you. The other question is there any consideration of lowering the speed limit on Moose Mountain Road?
Was that one of the ones we just did the other day? We didn't do Moose Mountain Road?
It's currently 35 miles per hour, so the way it's sort of established right now, all the paved roads in town are 35. The dirt roads are 25, with the exception of these developments that the town has taken over, which will be posted at 25. I just picked the signs up today. So there has been no discussion about it,
Okay.
other than just that
Yeah.
we're trying to figure out what our speed limits are and why.
Yes, it'd be great to consider lowering the speed limit at least to 30 miles an hour and then perhaps have some sort of enforcement representation because
So what are you basing your request on? Give us an idea of
it's
what you're seeing.
it's a widely used pedestrian road and there's a lot of commercial traffic on that road, whether it be going to the gravel pit or to the ski area. And so, we also spent 2 months with logging trucks going up and down the road every day this year. So it would be nice to have a lower speed limit and some traffic enforcement in order to protect the neighborhood. Because it is hazardous.
There are some very tight spots there too, right in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, where you
I
live
got a
is
very
pretty
blind
short,
driveway.
it's
And I
challenging.
have seen Wakefield PD patrolling it a lot more often
Yeah.
lately
Yeah,
than they had been.
yeah.
I would add to that too that it hasn't come to pass yet, but I did ask Stratford Regional Planning to do both a counter for that road as well as it counts the number of vehicles and it also counts what class of vehicle it is. So we'll get an idea how many cars are on that road and how many trucks to that point because it's a very busy road and it's nowhere near wide enough for.
Well, that was
Cars
the
and
question, the question is it going to be paved the same width, that section as it currently is, or is it going to expand?
It's basically going to be the same. It's going to probably be at least a foot wider because the equipment that they use can't do 18 feet.
Yeah.
18 is too narrow.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do it.
Yeah.
So typically even when they put down 18 feet on the contract, it's typically 19 because they just can't do 18 feet easily.
Yeah,
So you'll probably gain about a foot on that road.
yeah.
And then the other thing that I've been working on doing is at least building up the shoulders a little bit, pretty much everywhere for that reason too, because especially on Moose Mountain Road, if you meet a car, you're on the shoulder, you're off the pavement no matter what. So
Yeah,
in some places it's not possible, but
yeah.
Which also goes to your point of
Yeah.
Let's slow it down a
Well,
little.
especially in the winter, I mean, where Austin's house is a, you know, slalom run in the winter.
Yeah, it is.
You know, so it would be nice, and with the amount of traffic there is, it'd be nice to at least get people to be more thoughtful about their speed.
The other thing I would say, and I've said it at other meetings, and I say it to anybody, I get this complaint at least once a week about speed. You have to call the Wakefield Police and you have to tell them that you're having trouble with it, because if they don't hear it from multiple people, they tend to not pay attention. If they're getting calls every week, then you'll see them more, I think.
So you're probably most affected by what we're talking about. You got any thoughts on it?
I mean, not a lot, we can agree to reduce the speed, but people are gonna see it and they're gonna crank right by it and do as they usually please on Moose Mountain Road anyway.
True, but I think what ultimately happens is if you get the police presence and you throw it and a couple people get nabbed, the word is going to get out.
Right.
You know, it might take a while, but I think it could have a positive effect if there's some enforcement action.
Like I said, their presence, the Wakefield PD, their presence has been up and down the road quite frequently lately. I have seen them.
You're saying right now there's nothing posted? It's an understanding that we're doing 35, or is it actually?
No, it's not
There's stuff posted.
It is posted at
Yeah.
35?
Yeah.
And you're asking to bring it down to
30,
30?
yeah.
Rich, you got any thoughts?
I'm not sure you can. It's not a residential road, it's a rural road with all the space on it. I'm not sure you can go to 30. You got to check that one. The developments are easy. That one I'm not sure.
It's my understanding the town can have an ordinance. Right now, there's nothing, according to the state, 35 is the lowest enforceable speed limit, but I've read that a town can create an ordinance to have a lower speed limit, and you can instruct the local police to enforce it at that level, but that doesn't,
I think that's in the book of how to Road and Follow.
that's my understanding of it, but I'm not an expert on it.
I would check that one. I think there's some guidelines on that one.
Okay. All right, well, here's what we'll do. I'll do some homework and some research on it. I'll find out how much latitude we got, and we'll bring it back up for discussion at the next meeting. Next meeting is next Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Enough time to look at it.
Yes, once that section is paved.
That's a good point.
Speed,
What
the our culvert speed bump is useful.
Yeah.
And then the
hill
smear crown before you get to Austin's
Yeah,
house
they
helps
told
too. Yeah.
The hill in front of his house is almost a speed bump in itself.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Who's
Anything
that?
else?
No, good, thank you.
Ed?
Like on Stoneham Road, who is actually doing the speeding? This always annoys me that we all have to suffer in the town because of 5 people. Who are these people that are speeding up through the town? Are they
A lot of out-of-towners.
Well, then that should be the target is,
I think people use Stoneham Road as a cut through.
well, I know, but when it's
So-
the same person, so you follow them home and you tell them, you stop speeding. It's only like 5, I bet you it's the same people doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I think you can deputize Ed for Stoneham Road.
No, but it's funny, on any given road. it's
I
the same
know, I'm
people.
teasing, just because.
Moose Mountain Road's an exception in this town because it has an enormous amount of people that really have no idea where they're going.
Right.
Living at the end of the road, the amount of people that drive up there and stop and not know what to do is amazing to me. There's also a lot of hiking. It used to be hunting, but nobody hunts anymore, I guess, so you don't see those guys, but a
But all
lot of
got taken
hiking.
over.
Yeah.
It's all posted now.
Yeah, Moose Mountain Road is mostly people that don't know where they are or where they're going. They're either trying to get to the restaurant or they're going hiking and they really are.
They said they were taking to Wolfboro.
Yeah, so it is, that one I think is a little different. Stoneham Road is a little bit different because that's the same people. I think you're right, it's the same people. Whenever I work over there, it's the same vehicle that I see every time with a personalized plate that rips past us in the road, so.
Okay, the other way to approach this is, get to the organizations that are inviting the people up and make sure they're reminded in their documentation not to speed up the road.
I'm not.
Meaning if there's a, let's say if there's a trail organization or something that advertises to come up to Brookfield and use that road. Well, in their literature, ask them to tell people the speed limit is such and such and they need to keep the speed down. You have a rec zone up there. I'm certain they would be amicable to adding something to their people that call up that are going to use the facility. Just slow down. And at least it'll eliminate some of the people.
So who are these people? Who would we be calling, say, put it in the literature?
Well, because there's the Trail Bureau, there's a trailhead up there, correct?
Yeah, you can go on to All Trails, it's an app, and you can add any information you like to it.
That's what I mean. So you could put, while you're going up to this area, you need to slow down, or you need to watch your speed. It sounds like a stupid idea maybe, but it's just another avenue of getting into the head of the person that's going to be driving up there. It doesn't normally go up there. They need to slow down. Because honestly, if you're from other places, rural roads are usually 50 miles an hour. So these people are used to, where we were from, unposted rural roads were automatically 50 miles per hour. And people come up here and you go down Stone Road, you can easily go 50. And not even think you're going fast. Because it's normal for them. So they just need to be reminded. I also don't know why we can't put a speed sign and reduce it and not enforce it. The people around here know they can go faster than 25, but maybe an out-of-towner wouldn't.
I think that they are reminded of the speed limit by the speed limit signs that are posted on the road.
Well, that's not working.
But that's an enforcement issue for the local police.
I just don't know how you're not going to be able to stop people from doing it.
But you can stop people from doing it by sitting over at the cemetery on Lyford Road any morning. If they put a cop car there, every car that goes by is going more than 25. But they don't do that.
Who spoke to Wakefield to see if they could do a targeted speed enforcement?
I think all of us have at one time. And like I said, anybody that's contacted me about it, I've asked them to call the Wakefield police so they know that there's another person that's interested in enforcement of the speed limit.
And I've asked them to write tickets, not just give warnings. Because once the word's out, you get a ticket, you start to slow down.
Is there anywhere for the police to sit while these people are going by?
Well, the town cemetery is a good example. You can sit right in the entrance to it, and they come around the corner sideways there, and they'd be able to. And,
The stump dump is another one,
Yeah.
Old Governor's Road is another spot.
yeah, there's places. It's just a matter of getting them there at the right time of day and enforcing it.
I'll take an action to go talk to the chief in Wakefield and tell him what our concerns are and what we're hearing from our residents and ask for some sort of a step up in their presence.
It might be good to ask for a monthly report on how many tickets have been issued in town, or some sort of feedback for us. Because we asked them to do that, but we'll do it.
I never see anything.
Well, we still get complaints. So maybe once a week, once a month. How many tickets were issued in Brookfield for speeding?
And where? And where?
Yeah.
And where?
Does it only happen on the weekends or is it all different times? The reason why I say is because Wakefield has the speed sign that they had put over here, then they targeted this area.
They don't
It's
log
on
it.
Governor's
It's in on Governor's Road
Yeah,
now.
it's on Governor's.
It doesn't log the data. If it logged the data as to when the speeds were occurring, you get the data to operate on. It just puts lights on it.
Okay, well,
That's it?
the one that
Nobody's-
Tamworth uses,
It logs it.
he uses his smartphone and
That's
it
what-
connects and it gives you a report.
That's what you would like to have, isn't it? The data would be good.
Maybe we could borrow it.
His phone?
No, borrow the speed sign. It's got a sensor on the front of it.
It's up there. It's on
Yeah, but
Governor's
Yeah,
Road.
but it's not collecting anything.
Huh?
It's just said it's not going.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a disappointment.
Yes.
That's
Maybe
valuable information.
Stratford Regional, why can't
Yeah.
they get us
Why
one
do,
of those
why,
signs?
why do you upgrade?
Yeah.
They're gonna do a counter about, but that sign works, if you don't realize the speed that you're going fast, that does help. I don't know, just,
when I see it, I always look down at my odometer. And there are times when I'm going over the speed limit, I'm just not aware of it, you know? So I slow it down, I back it off.
okay,
So
thanks
thanks
for listening. It just annoys me.
All right, anything else?
Can we go home and eat?
Pardon?
No.
Can we go home to eat now, please? Please, please.
All right, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
You don't need a motion, you're the chair, you can do anything you want.
That's right. But
All right,
Yeah.
then you're adjourned.
that's,
Meeting adjourned.
thank you. Thank you.
Hey.
7:14.